everybody. How you doing? Getting hungry? Soon there will be food. Okay, I'm Kim Olsson. I'm a part of the program group at the Radiodays. I'm also a development manager at Swedish Radio. But I'm not going to talk about Swedish radio. I'm actually going to talk about the Czech radio. Is there any from Czech Republic in here? Oh yeah, good. Then you're going to help me. I have some problems. We're going to talk about 3 different formats from 3 different channels. And first of all, I would like to welcome on stage as soon as we get the presentation on. Here we go. Soon. Here we go. There are them all. Czech success stories. I put the flag on the slide as well. Nice, right? But first, before I present them, I'm just going to show you a video from yesterday. Me and Radiodays general manager took a cab from the party last night, and there was a cab driver. He really loves Czech radio stations. He was like playing all of them for us, and he played it very loud. And I mean, it was a very nice taxi drive back to the hotel.
Maybe we should go to La Fabrica tonight.
He was driving really quickly as well. I was a little bit afraid, but the music helped a little bit. Please welcome on stage our first one of our speakers, Martina Rihova. Did I say it right? No?
No, you didn't.
I've been practicing a little bit. Hello, Martina. How are you doing?
Hi. Great. Thank you.
Great to hear you. You are from the channel called Europa 2, but in Czech it's
Evropa 2.
Okay.
Not a big difference.
Just a short introduction. What is your station like?
Well, that's actually a funny station full of music with news that nobody wants to listen to, but we have to air them because of the license.
Okay, let's look to a video. Okay, we got the feeling of the station. Yeah. Thank you, Martina. You will be back on stage later on again.
All right.
I will also please welcome Martin, and this is the most difficult surname to pronounce. Hroch.
Hippo.
I was practicing before, and that was hard. I can't say it. You're from Kiss Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your station like?
A lot of people ask me what's the format like, and I call it rhythmic AC. So it's up-tempo, happy, upbeat tempo station.
All right, let's look to a video on your station as well.
Radio Kiss hraje to nejlepší od 90. let. Vysílá po celé republice a baví tě ve dne v noci. Radio Kiss. I na Instagramu, na Facebooku a na Spotify. Radio Kiss. To nejlepší od 90. let.
Be happy.
Be happy. That's Kiss. That was actually the cab driver's favorite station, he said. So he was instantly going back to Kiss again and turning up the volume. So good work from you. Our second speaker today is Ondřej. I was practicing this yesterday at the party. Cikán. Was that correct? No.
You were really close. It's
very close.
Cikán.
You are from, you're working with 2 different channels. One of them are the rock radio.
Yeah, that's true. And it's really surprising. You asked me about what about rock radio. So it's a station full of rock music. Yeah. And I can't use any more spoilers because it will be part of the presentation.
All right, here's a sound clip from the rock radio.
Rock radio. Rock je slušná muzika. Radio.
Come here, baby. You know you drive me up a wall, the way you make good for all the nasty tricks you pull.
Rock radio. Rock radio. Rock radio. Rock je slušná muzika.
Yeah, then we know the feeling of the stations, right? So good introduction, thank you very much. So please welcome the first real speaker on stage. It's Martina Rihova, and you're gonna talk a little bit. Did I say right? No, he was like, no, he can't learn how to pronounce Czech. I have to say a little bit more days. So I give you some minutes to talk a little bit about your session.
Yeah, I will try to stick to the 10 minutes. I mean, I think you saw it at the beginning that we are pretty much different. And Europe 2 has always been quite a young-oriented radio station. The target is somewhere between 20 to 35, but I'll show you a bit more about it. And I will talk about the radio show, a morning show that's been on air for 25 years with the same speakers. So this is Europe 2. It's kind of, we are playing in a pretty much hectic environment. We are at the moment fighting what everyone else is doing, but since we are talking to the youngs, it's a bit more of Spotify and YouTube and Apple Music. So we have to be present everywhere, basically, since we have been on the market since the 90s, early 90s. We do have the relatively target audience that's pretty much teens that will be driving in the cars with their moms or dads, but we also starting to interact with them in the way that we are there where they want to listen to us, which is Instagram, which is TikTok, which is YouTube, which is Spotify as well, or your radio talk. We do have, as I said, we do have news in the clock, but it's there just because of the license. During the pandemic and during the war crisis last year, we found out that people, if they want to listen to news, they would go more to the public stations than to us. So if they listen to us, it means they want entertainment. They want pure entertainment. They want to be happy for at least half an hour or an hour. So that's why we still have news, but it's pretty light news. And always the news person is part of the team. So the news person doesn't come out of the studio. It's always, he or she is always in the team putting together the news during the sessions, during the music time. And we became an influencers radio. Now at the moment, I'll show later on, but most of the influencers would have about 500,000 followers and more. The smallest ones would be 30,000, which is technically also working as a marketing for Europe 2. So it's a balancing act between our speakers, our moderators, or our talents, and the marketing we have there. So this is who we are. We are live events. We are small concerts, but we are also the biggest ones on the Czech Market. We are also creating an influencers camp for teens. So we invite them during August, 60 of them. And we are one of the few camps that are saying, well, guys, bring your phones with you, because we will teach you how to cut podcasts, how to create a video. And we teach them that with our influencers. What we found out during the time, a couple of years back, that Europe 2 is not a radio as itself, but it's a music station that brings, and we started to call it the social lubricant, that brings the themes to the conversations when you are in a pub. And that's the role that you have for the teens and for the youngsters. If they go to the pub, they would mention some of the talks and some of the themes they heard over the radio on the day. From the client's perspective, we are trying to be not just radio, but 360-degree solutions if that is necessary. So we are TV, we are podcasts, we are audio, but we are also on Instagram. We are pretty heavy on social in general. As I mentioned, we are in the influencers radio. This is just a few of them. The biggest one is Leoš Mareš, who's got something like 1.1 million followers, while bearing in mind that in Czech Republic we have 10 million inhabitants, it's pretty heavy. But as you can see, there's more of them. And at the moment, all the new talents that we are trying to put on air, all of them are influencers. We are putting them for a year usually under some kind of an incubator when they are creating pilots. And after a year, usually one of them makes it on air. But, as I promised, we will count the morning show dominancy. We have two talents that's been on air for 25 years. Still, we are a young radio, right? So we needed a young part of the team. So usually the news person is the one that's young. So we are keeping the thrill in between them. They've been in the same couple for 25 years. They are still not losing the audience, surprisingly, even though the structure of the audience is slightly different than the audience of the whole day. They are the only drive that can slightly amend the playlist. So they can change 1 to 2 spots or songs in an hour if they like it and if they want to use it as an enhancement to what they are saying. They are very heavy on social. So technically every single morning show that we have, we also cut it just at the end of the show. We create a podcast and you can already find it during the morning on the Spotify radio and also on Apple Music. So people are seeking, if they can't listen to radio, they are seeking the podcast as itself. And we do have quite strong elements. And this is where I thought that it might be fun because it's been already 1 and 2 days. You might be tired, it's before the lunch, it's after a big party. So I decided that we will show you one of the elements we are having there. The display.
Stěhování, prosím.
Dobrý den, tady je ústředná Mrázek. Prosím vás, já bych měl na vás takový dotaz.
Ano.
Prosím vás, já vám volám z rádia. Posloucháte...
Já vás poslouchám, ano.
Ne, jestli posloucháte rádio. Ráno, Evropu 2 posloucháte.
Občas ano, ne vždycky, ale občas ano.
No tak to určitě víte, že tady máme soutěž, která se jmenuje Odpověz a jeď.
Ale to ano, ale můžete mi říct, o co jde konkrétně?
Prosím vás, za chvíli vám zavolá pan Mareš, pustí vám ukázku písničky a vy řeknete, co to je. A je to. Chcete vyhrát, ne? Rozumíte?
Ano.
Jo?
A
Znáte...
to když to nebudu vědět?
Správná odpověď, já mi řeknu, protože jsem férový kluk. Je to skupina Chulimanga.
Unimanga?
Ne, skupina Chulimanga.
Ulimanga?
Ne, chu jako chuj. Chulimanga.
Hulimanga, tak tu vůbec neznám.
Chulimanga, to nesmíte říct celé. A ta písnička, to, co se tam bude, tak to je Kinjava.
Kingjaba?
Kingjaba.
No.
A to je v překladu mládí, a to není důležitý. A ta skupina, prosím vás, jenom pro vaši informaci, je z Djibouti. Prosím vás, musíme jet, protože za pár sekund bude volat pan Mareš. Prosím vás, důvěřuji vám, dostanete hodnotnou cenu. Mějte se krásně.
Stěhování Vosika, prosím.
Dobrý den, tady Leoš Mareš, Rádio Evropa 2.
Dobrý den.
Znáte naší soutěž na Evropě 2, která se jmenuje Odpověz a jeď?
Samozřejmě.
Znáte, jo?
Ano.
A znáte
ano.
muziku?
Muziku znám tak jak každý člověk, že jo? Dneska poslouchá muziku kde kdo, každej.
Takže tomu rozumíte.
No něco ano, něco znám z muziky.
Dobře, tak podívejte se, je to úplně jednoduchý. Pustím vám ukázku, jste připravená? Co to bylo za ukázku?
No, tohle to prosím vás byla... Moment, já si musím vzpomenout, jo. A mám pocit, že je to skupina Chulimanga.
Chulimanga?
Ano.
A název písničky taky víte?
Kingjaba?
Nebyly to náhodou Beatles?
Ne, bohužel.
Jste si jistá, jo?
100% jako by to znám.
Jo.
Ano.
I've heard it like 10 times, I'm still laughing at it. Now we have these elements like 3 or 4 times in an hour, so that we also give them some break. Some of the elements, as this one, has been used for 10 years, I think. I even had the guys there, so they would know. But it still works. So these elements, we create new ones, obviously, but this is one of the things that I thought that you might not understand in English. And we're creating... Of course, for the same morning show, we're creating sponsoring messages as we do not have enough money for typical advertising. I will play so you will understand later why.
Kde seš? Držíme ti flek všude.
Evropa 2.
The key for the youngs is to be authentic and not to be fake. So this is where we wanted to point out that every single listener is part of the team and we are not fake. We give them all we know about, we give them the authenticity. Now, if you use this QR code. You might need your phones. You will know why. Don't worry, there's no virus in there.
Have you ever all taken photos? Good.
So thank you very much.
A big hand from Martina.
So the only end would be authentic and stay true.
Applause for Martina. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Martin. I'm not going to try to pronounce your surname this time, but you're going to talk about the kiss. So good luck. That's wrong. Here we go.
Okay. So I'll be talking a little bit about Kiss Radio, about history. So let me put you 30 years ago to October 2nd of 1992, when the new Prague station was born. No, I have no audio. No. No. Okay, I was going to play you the first bits of the KISS broadcasting, which we kept recorded, and it says basically it's midnight, October 2nd, and the new Prague station has begun on 98.1 megahertz, KISS 98 FM. The station launch was supported with very heavy promotion campaign. We use all Australian idea of promotion vehicles, introduced the 6 KISS patrols, and hired a huge promotion team from the students, and the Prague streets were full of the KISS logos, billboards, students and cars. And station soon became very popular. Our listenership grown up pretty quickly, and I think within 1.5 years we managed to get to Europe too, and to get into first position in Prague. The format was classic hits, basically mixed from the 60s to the 90s, that time. And thanks to the success of the station, the owner decided to grow in Czech Republic, because the success was not just the programming, but also in the sales, from sales point of view. So in the 90s, we went through the process of acquisition, and we end up with 6 stations within the 6 other stations. We end up with 7 centers, 7 studios. And later we rebranded all these stations, local stations, to KISS. So KISS network looked like that since 98 up till 2017, actually. And we had local everything, local playlist, we had a local staff, local PD, local promotion manager, local presenters, local news readers, everything. We had a local program elements like charts or community service announcements. We had a local on-air and off-air contest, local promo and marketing. So we have ended up with something like 150 people across the country in 7 studios, 7 centers. And it worked pretty well that years. But radio has changed. And we had to ask very tough question. Do you have the 7 best team? Not really. I got probably in each team I have best 1 or 2 people. Do you have 7 best sounding station? Not all the time, not 24/7. I guarantee you some DJ plays their favorite song instead of follow the playlist. So you definitely have the 7 trouble centers, but not the 7 most effective centers. The other question were, do we do the same thing 7 times? Yeah, quite often. Yeah. Do we have sometimes as many worries? Definitely. Is there the way to do it more efficiently? Yeah, probably yeah. And answer to the last question depend on the technology. Radio has changed. On one hand, you don't have access to the best people. The radio is not so sexy medium as was in the 90s, honestly. On the other hand, the computer grows up, speed up, the internet link speeding up. So how to do it more efficiently? Let's put these stations together and let's build the national brand. So, firstly, the decision was made on management level. Next step was to create a huge and long checklist. The checklist contains what? Technical issue, technology, playout system, what you're going to do, production elements, jingle package, playlist, format, local content which you want to keep, and the toughest thing was the human issue. So the list of people to be fired, and a lot of people was fired. So you go through this process, and you have to make a lot of tough decisions. People, only the best presenters will be picked. Only the best features will be applied on new KISS. You get 100% control over the program, unlike having 7 program centers. You can unify the website and social networks. You can use the national marketing tool. And of course, it has huge financial impact. Okay, so the process has started. And we created a new brand, KISS Radio. The main slogan is "Be happy," because that's how KISS is sounding now. And what's the listenership impact in this process? Of course, closing the region station, local station, you lose your local presence a little bit. So it's fall down in the first period. But thanks to the quality of program, thanks to the good format, thanks to the right people, thanks to the higher level of broadcasting, higher standard of broadcasting, the drop is compensated quite early, and the station gained actually more listeners than lost. So I think that's the success story of KISS. I don't know.
To nejlepší.
This is the sample of the sound.
KISS. Radio KISS. Radio KISS. KISS. Radio KISS. Radio KISS.
Okay, so that's the sample of sound of the KISS. I call it Rhythmic AC. The music position is the best from the 90s to today. And on the end, I would like to thank 2 guys who's present here, Roman and Karel. These guys make it happen. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Martin from KISS, the cab driver's favorite station from yesterday. Actually, he was really happy when he was driving very quickly. So please welcome on stage from Rock Radio, Ondřej. Welcome. It's 10 minutes for you. Here's
Thank you. Okay, hello guys. Good afternoon. I'm really happy that you enjoy wonderful spring Prague weather. A little bit snowy, 2 degrees. Wonderful. Today, I just want to share a quick story about Hroch Radio. Respectively, I will be honest, it will be not only a story about Hroch Radio, it will be also a story about this symbol. And I know it's a little bit weird because there is a stranger standing in front of you and showing you this absolutely inappropriate symbol, but trust me, it's a really important motive of the next 10 minutes. And it's also the motive of these t-shirts. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that if you wear this t-shirt with this emblem, for example, in the US, it probably wouldn't pass. It would be forbidden. Here in Czech Republic, it passed. And what else? And what's the most important stuff? People wear this t-shirt voluntarily. And what more, they pay for this t-shirt. And the question is why? I don't know if you are curious, but I was curious. Less than a year ago, I started to cooperate with Rising Star of Czech Market, Hroch Radio. And it didn't take long to me to realize why this brand is so successful. And honestly, next slides which I provide to you, which I'm going to show you, they were obvious. They will be obvious. It will be obvious stuff. But sometimes I have a feeling that when we are overwhelmed with the daily stuff, we forget about this. So it's always great to remember and to remind this stuff. So, success of Hroch Radio. What is the secret sauce of Hroch Radio? Definitely DNA. You know it, I know it. Each station should have some brand identity, some DNA, some North Star where we are going all the time. And what is the DNA of Hroch Radio? To be in opposition of everything. That's, by the way, the reason why I didn't send the video to Kim. He asked me politely if I can send the video like everybody else. I said, sorry, brother, I can't do it. That's not part of our DNA. We are proudly to be different. What does it mean? For example, on air, we don't compete. When every station around the world try to buy the listeners by prizes, by some kind of competitions, we don't do that. We don't compete, and we massively communicate that on air. We also are absolutely normal, simple people behind the mic, and we don't get in people's ass. We don't buy them. We are like, okay, this is the information, take it or leave it. It's up to you. And we try to provoke. For example, when there is Valentine's Day around the world, we have the National Day of the Rock Music. No Valentine's Day for us. So that's our style. Christmas? No, sorry, we don't celebrate that. So if I should characterize somehow the Hroch Radio brand, for me it's a rebel, a rioter, troublemaker. And what's the most important part and the most important point, people like it, this attitude. Of course, music, that's another part of our DNA, that's another important part of this cocktail. And yeah, there is a huge advantage for rock music brands because rock music people are like, you know, the listeners are music lovers. I can compare that with my another radio station, that's CHR Young Radio Station, FAJN Radio. So I can see how young people consume the music. It's like, okay, 30 seconds of that song, okay, I will skip it. Now I listen to the chorus of that song, okay, I can skip it. So here it's totally different, huge advantage. Big passion for the music, that's what characterizes our listeners. Of course, it doesn't mean that we can play whatever we want. Okay, there's a guitar on this song, I will play it. No, of course, a lot of researches like everybody else. But I'm really proud and happy that we managed to create a playlist which people are able to consume for 214 minutes. That's average time spent listening. And the last really important pillar for us, we are real, we are raw, we are real people who are broadcasting for real people. That's what we are doing. So it starts and ends with this slogan. Yeah, there's a symbol again, sorry for that. But it's really important and it's really hard to translate it into English. Rock je slušná muzika. The closest translation is decent music. So this combination with this symbol, with this logo, and with the word decent music, that's alpha and omega of everything. That's our North Star. That's the irony which is present all the time by our DJs, by our brand. And yes, we also do online. We actually have some new streams. We do Instagram, we do Facebook, we do podcasts like everybody else around the world. And yes, we do off-air. We are there, out there with people on events. We represent our brand there. But I really believe, and again, I'm Captain Obvious today because you heard it several times, that these baselines are the most important for us. This DNA of provoke people, be a different, be a opposition, and execute the format. That's what worked for us, and that's why I believe that we became from this really small local radio station which was located in the south of Czech Republic into that. And I believe that's why we also increased our online listening by 220% in 2 years. And I also believe that's why people voluntarily wear this symbol on their t-shirts. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ondřej. The first question for you is, why aren't you wearing the t-shirt?
Okay, because I had it yesterday.
All right.
And coffee was everywhere. So sorry
so
for
it's destroyed because I wear the Radiodays t-shirt very proudly. It's very beautiful. You can buy the red one if you like. Please welcome on stage Martina and Martin again. We have some time for some questions. Do we have any questions here in the audience? Yeah, we have one there. We will hand over a microphone to you in the front row. Here you go. What's your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Anastasia from David Systems from Germany. I have a question to Martina. You said that your audience doesn't like to listen to news. So I wanted to ask you, have you tried out any compatible format which would at least a little bit interest your audience?
No, I think overall what's happening on the market is since people are not really... Okay, if you want information, you will go to the public channels, but on the more private side, you don't really want talk. You don't want speech. So basically, we didn't want to try any other news. We do have podcasts that will be aired under the Europe 2 name. That's true, but as on air, we haven't tried any new formats because we don't need it. People are tending to listen to music more than to the speech, so that's why.
Happy with the question or the answer, actually. Any more questions? Yeah, we have one in the middle on my right side. Here you go. What's your name and where are you from?
Yeah, I'm Ondřej from Slovenia, Radio 1, and also for Martina. You have a lot of influencers, big numbers. Me too. And I always struggle with what they publish on, because it happened that they publish something which is not coherent with the brand you represent. How do you tackle that?
Okay. Great question, thank you. We call it a balancing act. I don't know whether you know this from medicine, but balancing act means that's the moment where you don't want the person to die, but at the same time you have to make some decisions that are not really correct at the moment. Now this is what's happening with the influencers. And I'm having my head of the radio here in the room, and he's basically, for some of the influencers, for the biggest one, he's running air checks every second day, because we have to be really sure that we are coherent with what they are doing on their sites, on their socials.
Any more questions? Yeah, in the front row.
Hi, hello. I'm Chris from Poland, from Bauer Audio, and I have a question to Martin. Why you didn't decide earlier to combine your stations and to create normal network? Why so late? And secondly, I would like to ask also, about you said that in each radio station there was a separate playlist, also separate format, also different formats, and did you observe some kind of decrease in particular cities because of the changing the format there?
I start from the end. So yes, as the station started, we used to have different playlist or local created playlist and also different format. We maintained different format in Prague and outside Prague for a while. Tried to put playlists closer to each other station. But, and it goes to your first question, why we didn't end up with some compromise, keep something local. I think if you do it properly. And I put higher level on having 100% control of what's going from the speakers. We're keeping the local content in the news, in CSAs, in advertising, but all 7 streams now goes from the one center and using local window. That's about it. And of course, we were thinking about what's about to keep the live local, let's say, request show or drive time or breakfast. And no, if you do it properly, and failure is not an option.
Happy with the answer? Yeah. Do we have any more questions? No? Yeah? Over there?
Hello, Ondřej from Slovakia. Martin, so you mean that you have local people in Prague, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
That was a short answer, yeah. A yes or no. Can I ask you 3, what's the next step for your channels, you think? What is the challenges you see?
I already, so I'm having the mic, I will start. I'm already said it, I think yesterday at like noonish time at the big room. My biggest challenge at the moment is AI. Stop fighting AI, start leveraging and finding the solution for AI, which I'm not really sure how to at the moment. I'm trying. So that's AI would be the next big step, I think, for us.
What about you, Ondřej?
Until last year, we still had the main studio in České Budějovice, in the south of Czech Republic, and we removed the studio, and now we broadcasting for Prague. So for us, it's to stabilize the changes which we did last year, and let's say work on a even deeper connection with our audience.
Martin, what do you say?
My challenge is to repeat the history and beat Europe 2 again.
I think that's a good end of this session, isn't it? So Ondřej, Martina and Martin, very, very big thank you for joining us here at Radio Days. Now, we are all hungry after Ondřej's slides, right? With the ingredients and good food on the screen. So it's 1 hour lunch break. I hope it will be good food, and we start again in 1 hour. Here in track number 4, it's going to be all about jingles. Pure Jingles is joining us for a session at 13:45. Please welcome.